Well, two things on that, off the back of what Bethany's just said. I mean, we used to think of the playground as a place where we should protect our kids, a physical place, but really the digital playground is the battlefield now.
Mm.
And to illustrate that, there are so many things we could talk about, but we produced a video that people can watch actually on a21.org/can you see me. If you click on the US and then click on online enticement, you'll get the video there where you can watch it. We've recreated a story, but in essence, that story was a true story. It was actually a 12-year-old boy, and he'd been gaming online, met a friend, and he thought was a 13-year-old girl, and turned out to be a 40-year-old man. And to cut a long story short, they within a game you have these privileges and hacks where you can get to the next level, right? And so the friend who is actually enticing this little boy said, look, I'll give you a cheat and hack to get to the next level, just take your top off. Something fairly innocuous. Of course, 12-year-old brain thinks, oh, okay, I can do that. Takes his clothes off, his top off, gets the cheat and hack. You know where I'm going with this? Well, I'll give you the next cheat and hack, but can you take your trousers off and your underwear? Which he then does, and it escalates to the point where it becomes indecent, really indecent. And in this case, this little boy was told by this perpetrator to get his little sister in the room, who was 8 years old, undress her and perform sexual acts on her. He said no. And then the perpetrator revealed himself, showed all the images that he had collected of him, and said, if you don't do it, I'm going to put it on social media, and your family are going to find out. So he's eliciting control over this little boy. The little boy jumped off the balcony and killed himself. And that was the reality, right? And then when the police followed the line of inquiry, that perpetrator, it was actually 2 accomplices, both in their 40s. They had done this to 175 other little children in the UK. And here's the thing: when the police knocked on the door of all the parents to tell them, none of the parents knew. So the work that these people do to our kids on the digital battlefield, the playground, is unbelievable. The way that they can entice these kids, coerce them to silence, and then abuse them perpetually. Now, to your point about COVID and the lockdown, etc., of course, young kids were online before, but as Bethany said, they're all online all the time now, and so are the perpetrators. And we don't, as Bethany said, we don't have all the full picture yet, but just some evidence of the increase would be, I guess, ICAC you would normally have, and don't quote me on these numbers, but roughly they have about 1,600 to 2,000 cases per year. Up to this point in time, they have over 6,000 cases that all relate to these kind of incidences. And the hotline, NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in the US, their calls went up by 90%. We're yet to see what that leads to. But anyway, it gives you a bit of a picture. You know, we're dealing with a battlefield that really needs some strong attention, and it needs strong attention not only from parents and teachers to put greater controls and measures in place to protect their children, but we also need to get on side with the children, be a voice, be people that they can trust, and tell them what's happening to prevent it from happening in the first place. Not to mention, big tech needs to be getting involved in this. And it doesn't help when you've got sort of issues in the European Union where we're trying to block privacy, and in doing so are blocking all attempts to like photo DNA and hashtags are being stopped in Europe. I'm hoping that we manage to intercept this with the work of NCMEC, the National Center. But no, I mean, it's actually not only is it getting worse, it's about to get even worse by people putting in privacy measures so that we can't check to see where all these images are coming from, what these perpetrators are doing. No, we have a very, very serious problem on our hands.